Good morning, all of you. This is Nageshwar Rao, Assistant Professor of Physics, Government Degree College, Chintalapuru. In this presentation, we will discuss about coefficient of thermal conductivity using kinetic theory of gases. We know kinetic theory of gases only applicable when the gas is in equilibrium. But the gas is not always in equilibrium because due to changes in some of the parameters like velocity, temperature, and molecular density may not be equal in all parts of the gas. If the velocity components are not equal in all parts of the gas, there is some transverse force exists to oppose the relative motion of the gas layers. This phenomena is called viscosity. If the temperature is not equal in all parts of the gas, so that the kinetic energy of the gas molecules are different, so the molecules will move from high kinetic energy region into the low kinetic energy region, or maybe high temperature region into the low temperature region to obtain the equilibrium state. So this phenomena is called heat conduction. And of course, the third property is the molecular density may not be equal in all parts of the gas, so that the mass of the molecules will move from high molecular density region into low molecular density region. This phenomena is called diffusion. So today we will discuss about when the temperature is not equal in all parts of the gas, then what happens. So if the temperature is not equal in all parts of the gas, to bring the equilibrium of the state of the gas, the molecules will move from high temperature region into the low temperature region and transport kinetic energy. This gives rise to the phenomena of conduction. So to explain this phenomena of thermal conduction, the gas may be divided into different layers. The bottom layer temperature is maybe taken as 0, when it is a top layer temperature is maximum. So then what happens? You see here there is x-axis. We have to take parallel to, on the gas is moving parallel to the x-axis, and the along the y-axis the temperature is increasing at the rate of dt by dy, where dt by dy is the rate of temperature, rate of change of temperature with the unit change in length. Of course, it is required divided into different layers. One of the layer is AD, whose temperature is T. Of course, its temperature is increasing towards the positive y-axis, that is upwards, at the rate of dt by dy, that is called temperature gradient. So temperature gradient is nothing but change in temperature per unit length. So it is one more layer, that is CD, just below the layer of AB at a distance of lambda, where lambda is called mean free path. We know mean free path is nothing but the average distance between two consecutive collisions. So we know it is towards the downwards, the temperature decreases, so that at a distance of lambda, the temperature of the layer CD is T minus lambda into dt by dy. Because we know change in temperature per unit length is dt by dy. So for the distance of lambda, the decrease in temperature is minus lambda into dt by dy. So the temperature of the layer CD is T minus lambda into dt by dy. Similarly, we want to assume one more layer, that is above the AB, that is taken as EF at a distance of lambda, that is mean free path. Here also the temperature of this layer is taken as a T plus lambda into dt by dy. Of course, because it is moving upwards, the temperature is increasing, so it is taken as a plus. So T plus lambda into dt by dy is the temperature of the layer AEF. Of course, it is this arrow is shows that the temperature is increasing about the positive y-axis. So let us consider the velocity of these these gas layers is moving with velocity v parallel to the x-axis, whose velocity is small in comparison to the velocity of the gas molecules, that is c. Of course, this velocity of the gas molecules is depending on the thermal agitation. So assume that the change in velocity, that is the dt by dy per unit length along the positive y-axis, and where A, B, C, D, and E, F are different layers already we has explained. That is layer x-axis parallel to that. That is layer AB, this is layer CD, that is layer EF. Both the three are at a distance of mean free path lambda. Of course, the temperature of the layer CD is equal to already explained, that is the T minus lambda into dt by dy, and the temperature of the gas layer EF is equal to T plus lambda into dt by dy. So due to this temperature difference, that kinetic energy of different layers is also different. So that molecules will move from EF layer into AB layer, and whose layer temperature energy is increases. And some of the molecules which is moving from layer CD to AB, in which the kinetic energy of the layer AB decreases. So the molecules are gas of the gas coming from layer EF passing downwards across AB will possess more kinetic energy, and of course the layer molecules will move from CD to AB, whose kinetic energy loses. So the coefficient of thermal conductivity can be defined as the amount of heat energy flow per unit area per second per unit temperature gradient. So that coefficient of thermal conduction is equal to Q by dt by dy. Actually, this came from that we know the amount of heat transfer, that is Q, is directly proportional to area of the layer, that is A, and the temperature gradient, that is the dt by dy actually. Of course, that is proportionality can be represented by something K, that is Q is equal to K into A into dt by dy, where the area of the layer is taken as 1. From this case, Q is equal to K into dt by dy. From this K is equal to Q by dt by dy, that is the coefficient of thermal conduction. So from this, an amount of heat absorbed or may be rejected to the layer Q is equal to K into dt by dy. From this equation actually, where A is equal to 1 unit, where here when A is taken as 1 unit, then Q is equal to K into dt by dy. Of course, that is taken as equation 1. Here Q represents the amount of heat transfer from one layer to the another layer, that is equal to K into dt by dy, where K is the coefficient of thermal conduction. Of course, when N is the number of molecules per unit volume, that is of course taken as molecular density. And of course, C is the average velocity of the molecule due to the thermal agitation. These N molecules will move in all directions. Maybe it is along the x-axis, along the y-axis, and also along the z-axis. So in total molecules N, 1/3 of the molecules, that is N by 3 molecules, will move along the x-axis. N by 3 molecules will move along the y-axis, and N by 3 molecules will move along the z-axis. So that 1/3 of the molecules may be taken as which will move in all directions, maybe along the x-axis, maybe along the y-axis, and maybe along the z-axis. So in this n-third molecules, that is 1/3 of the N molecules, in which half of the molecules will move positive x-axis and half of the molecules will move negative x-axis. It is nothing but in the N by 3 molecules, N by 6 molecules means half of the N by 3 is nothing but N by 6. N by 6 molecules will move along the positive x-axis, and N by 6 molecules will move along the negative y-axis. Similarly, N by 6 molecules will move along the positive y-axis, and N by 6 molecules will move along the negative y-axis. And N by 6 molecules will move along the positive z-axis, and n by 6 molecules will move along the negative z axis. So that n by 6 molecules will move upward or downward. So that we may write that number of molecules traveling along one direction is n by 6. That is per unit area, because whose value, that is n, is nothing but number of molecules per unit volume. So the number of molecules that travel along one direction per unit area is n by 6. If c is the average molecule velocity, then the number of molecules crossing per unit area per second is equal to n by 6 into c, because n by 6 is only molecules per unit area moving, and c is number of velocity of the molecule. So that n into c by 6 represents the number of molecules crossing per unit area per second. If n is the mass of the each molecule, then the mass transfer or maybe mass crossing per unit area per second is equal to n into c by 6 into m, that is mn c by 6. That is mass crossing per unit area per second from one layer into the another layer. So now we will apply the equation of specific heat. We know now amount of heat energy Q1, which is crossing from layer EF to AB, is, we know that formula Q is equal to ms dt or maybe mc dt. From that, m is the mass of the molecule mass, and a specific heat, that is maybe taken as a CV, that is specific heat at constant volume and temperature. So that is from the specific heat definition. So that Q1 is equal to mass is mnc by 6, and a specific heat is taken as a CV, and a temperature of the layer EF is T plus lambda into dT by dV. This amount of heat is transferred from layer EF to AB. Similarly, some amount of heat is transferred from layer CD to AB, because actually it loses some heat energy because the temperature of the layer AB is more than the temperature of the layer CD. So that the amount of heat transfer from layer is in between CD and AB is Q2 is equal to same as formula mcdt, that is 1/6 mnc into cv into temperature of the layer CD, that is T minus lambda into dt by dy. Of course, net amount of heat transfer to layer AB is so that is equal to Q1 minus Q2, that is Q is equal to 1/6 mnc cv into T plus lambda into dt by dv minus Q2 value is this one, that is 1/6 mnc cv into T minus lambda into dt by dv. Of course, we may take 1/6 mnc cv is taken as common. This plus t, this minus t is cancel each other. This T into lambda into dt by dy minus into minus plus lambda into dt by dy, that is a 2 lambda into dt by dy. Of course, 2 in which 6 3 times cancel, so that Q is equal to 1/3 mnc cv into lambda into dt by dy, because there is a 2 lambda into dt by dy, 2 it will which 6 3 times will cancel, so that 1/3 into mnc cv into lambda into dt by dy. Of course, this may be taken as equation 2. Equations 1 and 2 are equal, because that equation Q is equal to K into dt by dy. This equation Q2 is Q is equal to 1/3 mnc cv lambda dt by dy. So that is K into dt by dy is equal to 1/3 mnc cv into lambda into dt by dy. We of course dt by dt avoid dt by dy is cancel each other, so that the coefficient of thermal conduction K is equal to 1/3 mnc cv lambda. So this is actually required equation for the coefficient of thermal conduction. But we know that is mean free path lambda is equal to 1/√2 pi sigma square n. It is derived by using the Maxwell's distribution law of molecular velocities. When this lambda is substituted into the above equation, the coefficient of thermal conduction K is equal to mnc cv divided 3√2 pi sigma square n. Of course, we may write that m into n is equal to density rho, that is rho is equal to mm, then coefficient of thermal conductivity K is equal to rho C Cv by 3 root 2 pi sigma square m. So this is the required equation for the coefficient of thermal conduction. So what are the conclusion from this equation? From that equation, the coefficient of thermal conductivity is independent of the pressure because there is no pressure concept in the above equation. So it is nothing but coefficient of thermal conductivity does not depend on pressure. And the coefficient of thermal conductivity of a gas is proportional to the molecular velocity, that is C. And of course, we know the velocity of the molecules is dependent on temperature, that is proportional to root T. So that this coefficient of thermal conductivity is also proportional to the square root of the absolute scale of temperature. That is, K is proportional to root T. And the coefficient of thermal conductivity and relation of with the coefficient of viscosity is, we know coefficient of thermal conductivity is K is equal to, that is already we discussed that, where that is when we substitute the value of coefficient of viscosity, that is K is equal to Cv into N. And the coefficient of thermal conductivity is inversely proportional to the square root of mass of the molecules of the gas. So these are the conclusions which came from the coefficient of thermal conductivity. Okay, thank you.